How are you, everybody? I'm Sandra Arevalo, and I'm the Director of Community Health and Wellness at Montefiore Nyack. I'm very happy to have Agustina Lopez with us today. We're going to be talking about pedestrian safety. We know that this is a high concern. The rates in Rockland of all accidents that happen to pedestrians is about 20%. And I hope, Agustina, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But it is very important to take some precautions, learn how to avoid those accidents. We know, for example, I drive on Route 9W. We know that there is always people driving their bikes there, and sometimes it's not as safe. So today with Agustina, we're going to learn how to avoid those accidents, how to get involved in an accident. You know, I'm scared both ways. I'm scared that I get into an accident or that I'm going to hit somebody. That scares me very much. So, Agustina, thank you for being with us today. Please introduce yourself. Let us know where you work. You were just telling me you've been doing this for like 5 years. So tell us a little bit more about you and the work that you do before we start with the presentation.
Sure. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to talk about pedestrian safety. I work at the Rockland County Department of Health, and I've been here for about almost 6 years. And for the last 5 years, we've had a program to educate the public about pedestrian and traffic safety in general. And so I'm going to talk about what we do, a little bit about what we do here at the county, and you know, the importance of it, right? So we can start if you want.
Okay, thank you so much. And just a reminder to all of our attendees, please ask a lot of questions. Use the Q&A box, use the chat box. We like to hear from you. We like your comments. The more interactive we can make this, the better. And Agustina, if we get questions, should I ask you the questions right away, or do you prefer that we leave the questions towards the end?
Maybe to the end.
Okay, will do. So more time for all of our attendees to send all your questions. So please do. Go ahead, Agustina.
Okay, so the Walk Wise Drive Smart project is a collaboration between the Rockland County Department of Health and the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee. And so why are we talking about pedestrian safety? Everyone is a pedestrian. We're all pedestrians. Every time we leave the house, we walk to the store, even when we walk from our car to the store in a parking lot, we are pedestrians. So it's important, you know, to be aware. And our intention is to raise both driver and pedestrian awareness of the pedestrian safety issue and promote behavior change in order to reduce pedestrian injuries and fatalities. So during this talk, we'll be talking about some of the major risk factors for pedestrian injury and death, which are listed below. Some of them are walking while talking on the phone, you know, distractions, crossing mid-block, walking at night in dark clothes, not watching out for careless drivers, walking in the road, and not watching out for cars that are backing up. So why do we have this problem? Our nation's streets are dangerous by design because they have been designed primarily to move cars quickly. Roadway design has a strong impact on how people drive, and it often is more influential on driver behavior than the posted limit. For example, long wide roads with unsignalized intersections are dangerous because they encourage speeding. And we see a lot of this in Rockland County. And also in the last 10 or so years, 11 years, pedestrian fatalities have increased, and they represent approximately 17% of all traffic deaths. This is nationwide, but then I'll talk about a little bit more what happens here locally in Rockland County in a little bit. So injuries to pedestrians are among the top 10 leading causes of injury-related hospital admissions and death for almost all age groups in New York State. Approximately 300 pedestrians are killed and 1,500 are injured by motor vehicles each year in the state's roadways. And more than 3,000 pedestrians are admitted to the hospital annually. It is important for both drivers and pedestrians to pay attention and follow the law. And much of what we do is educating people about, the public about the laws to prevent injuries and deaths. Okay. So what is the state doing? In 2016, the New York State Department of Transportation and the Health Department teamed up with the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee on a first of its kind pedestrian safety campaign. The Pedestrian Safety Action Plan, the PSAP, consisted of 110 million 5-year commitment to improving pedestrian safety across the state. Through the 3 E's, which are include engineering, enforcement, and education. Identified in this plan are 20 focus communities outside of New York City, where data indicate pedestrian crashes are the most prevalent. And Rockland County is among the top 20 counties in New York State for highest number of traffic injuries and fatalities. So the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee partners with us and other local health departments and other community-based traffic safety programs in communities like Rockland County. And the objective is to promote law-based education and outreach to the public. So what are we doing here in the county, right? So in order to educate the public, we have developed presentations for schools and the general public. And these are the flyers we use to promote our programs. On the left, we have the one for the schools, and on the right, we have the one that we use to promote our presentations in the community. We've also created banners and posters. We've been working with some communities in the county these posters were these banners were placed in the villages of Nyack, Piermont, and Suffern, and they have basically messages about the law, like not texting, obeying the signs and red lights, yielding to pedestrians in crosswalks, and they've been placed across the road in all of these villages. Another thing we've done is we've installed bus shelter posters. So all county-owned bus shelters in Rockland have these posters on one of the panels, and those we created also. Another thing we've done is we've created this brochure, and this brochure is basically a Q&A about sharing the road and road safety for pedestrians, bicyclists, and drivers. And we've shared these with local police departments, with the New Bridge, and with several villages in the county. And if anyone wants these brochures, we we have them available, so you can let me know. Recently, we also created a school is open signs on the left. These schools open signs that were placed outside all schools in the East Ramapo Central School District. And we created share the road signs for towns and villages. And here on the right, the police officers from the Suffern Police Department placed one of the posters we gave them outside on the road. We also gave the signs to the police department in Haverstraw and Clarkstown. So everyone who uses the road has to follow the law. Whether you're a pedestrian, a bicyclist, or a driver, there are certain laws that need to be followed. Like pedestrians need to use sidewalks or walk facing traffic. And we see a lot of people not following this law in Rockland. We all have to obey traffic signals. At crosswalks, cars, you have to yield to pedestrians at crosswalks. And if there are no crosswalks, signs or signals, yield the right of way to all vehicles. Pedestrians have to yield the way to all vehicles. Also, pedestrians should use colored clothing, in order to be visible at night. So unintentional pedestrian injuries are the 5th leading cause of injury-related death in the United States for children ages 5 to 19. And we do presentations in schools. We've done presentations in several schools here in Rockland, and children learn, basic things, how to cross a road, when to cross a road, avoiding distractions. We show them videos. We make it, fun for the kids, and we talk about bicycle safety also, and safety around cars. We do presentations for parents of young kids, and this is a very important thing. And recently, we've seen some tragedies with this. When we do presentations for parents, we explain the importance of keeping kids away from driveways. Kids are very, young kids are not visible usually if they are behind a car, and that is one of the ways that many kids have been injured or killed by just playing around behind a car and someone backing up and hitting them or running over them. Another reason people are killed or injured is because they are not visible, as I mentioned before. And it is no surprise that the highest percentage of pedestrian fatalities occurs between 6 p.m. and 12 a.m. So we teach kids about being bright and be seen at night, especially in the winter when kids, get out of school or after school and it's already dark. We teach them how to be, visible, whether it's with colored clothing or with a flashlight or something that, flashes or reflects at night. And we give them bracelets, like reflective bracelets. When we do the presentations, we give them reflective bracelets or reflectors or something that, turns on at night. Older adults are another group that is very, that is at high risk of injuries and deaths. And here we see that people over the age of 55 are more likely to be killed or more likely to be killed, really. And well, there's several reasons for this. Usually, many times, older adults may have health conditions that make them more at risk, put them at risk, or they might walk slower, or they might not see well, they might not hear well. So, and many times they can be injured because of these issues. And maybe sometimes also the roads are not very good condition, like there's potholes or there's no sidewalk, and there's more risk of falls, especially with older adults. So everyone is a pedestrian, and whether you drive a car, you ride a bicycle, or take a bus to get where you want to go, your journey always begins and ends on foot. Education for both pedestrians and drivers is needed. And to increase the impact, we need to partner with municipalities, and we partner with municipalities, community organizations, and schools, providing education, outreach, and training to increase pedestrian and motorist awareness. So that's it. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Agustina. So I do have a couple of questions, and I would like for all of our attendees to also ask some questions. The first one is, I see that you guys have done a lot around education with the brochures, banners, flyers, even going to schools and all of that. Have you been measuring the effectiveness of the education?
We do surveys after our presentations. When we do, group presentations, we do surveys. With the schools, it's a little bit harder because, we usually have, 300 students. So we ask the teachers to tell us, more or less, what they think. And when we have smaller groups, we do have surveys, and we ask people to answer questions like, what did you think of the presentation? What did you learn? Did you think that was useful for you? And we've gotten positive, very positive feedback. I'm not really tracking it. Well, I'm trying to track it, better now, but I don't have, any stats yet. But we do track, that we do get feedback. Yes.
And do you feel that this education has somehow helped to reduce the amount of accidents in Rockland?
It's hard to tell. We're trying to work with police departments because they are more out there. Here it's only me, and it's hard for me to be out there. But we try to work with police departments to get the word out so that they can, give out all these materials and they can talk to people. Especially now in June, yeah. In June, the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee had a mobilization to educate people, the public about, the importance of, following the law, right? If you're walking or if you're driving. And a lot of police departments in Rockland County were out on the road talking to people, giving out information. And we worked with them to put out all these materials.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And, as pedestrians and also as concerned citizens, how do you think we can help address this issue? I'm going to give you an example. Here in front of the hospital, we have zebra crossings, and sometimes I'm even trying to cross the street and cars never stop. I was looking at your presentation and it says the pedestrian has the right to go, at a zebra crossing. However, cars, I will say 90% of the time, they just drive over. They don't even care. So what can we do in order to reinforce that law and make sure that, as you said, we're all pedestrians are safe?
Yeah, well, there's three parts of this. There's the education, there's the enforcement, and there's the engineering. So we need all three. we can educate until we are, blue in the face, but we also need the enforcement, and we need engineering. So engineering things are like, signals, better, lighting, or I don't know, those are road bumps to prevent cars from speeding. So all those things, help, and also the enforcement. Actually, people, they're having the police out there and giving warnings or giving tickets to people for speeding or for not stopping at intersections, or at crosswalks, or stop signs, because there's a lot of that. There's a lot of speeding, and there's a lot of people that maybe are in a rush, and it happens a lot. So
Agustina, and how do we do that? Let's say that we wanna have a stop sign, or a sign that says go slower, any sign. Who do we need to talk to in order to have that sign there?
So mostly it's, you probably need to talk with your legislators, in whatever, the town or the village, people that in transportation departments. Because if there is a problem, for example, Nyack has a plan now for the bridge, with the new bridge. They got a lot of money to have create a path and make the roads. I think they're installing sidewalks also, and on, I think it's 9W. And so it's a matter of being more vocal, right? If you see a problem, try to be active in your town, in your community, in your village, and talk with your decision makers, talk with your councils, legislators, and try to see if you can get people together. Because the more people that ask for something, the better chance that it will be done.
And I'm also curious, because when I was looking at your pictures, when you put the banners and those signs, and when you go to schools, how do you select where you're going to do the education, or where you're going to locate the banners and the signs?
Well, the first 2 or 3 years we had this funding, we only had funding for Ramapo. So we were limited to working in Ramapo. So we started working in the Ramapo school district, and with senior centers in the Ramapo district, in the town of Ramapo. But now we are working. We can work all throughout the county, all towns in the county. So whoever wants to work with us, last year we worked with the villages of Nyack and Piermont, and that's how we developed those banners. Okay. We've also have a really good relationship with Suffern. So we also created a banner for Suffern, and we've also worked with the police department in Suffern. So we try to reach out to people, and if they want to work with us, we're happy to help. Yes.
Yeah, because I'm sure there are people out there who would like to bring this education to their schools, yes, their work, anywhere. So it's and same about the flyers and so forth that you were showing. So how do we contact you for the flyers or to organize an education program in our organization?
Sure. Well, this is my information. I should have put my email here. But you can reach me by email or by phone. This is the general phone. Do you want me to give you my direct phone number? Yeah, go ahead. And I'm going to write in the chat for people. Yeah. Okay. It's 845-364-3755. Okay. Perfect. Well, you have my email, so. And your email? Okay, my email is Lopez A, Lopeza at co dot Rockland dot ny dot us.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much. And we have a question. Are helmets mandatory for bike riders?
Yes. In Rockland County, everyone has to wear a helmet. Everyone by law. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any other gear mandatory besides the helmets?
For bicyclists, no.
What about other vehicles?
What mandatory? We mean no, not
Motorcycles, for example.
well. Yes, motorcycles. Yes, you have to wear a helmet.
And another question, commuting from and to work, I see more traffic jams due to car accidents. Very close to huge potholes on the roads. Any comments on this? Who to contact, what to do, etc.?
Probably your highway engineering departments. Depends on it depends on who owns the road, because the county, there's county roads, there's local roads, and there's state roads. So if it's county road, you can contact the county's highway department. If it's a local road, you have to contact your local, municipality. And if it's a state road, that's the state. So that's when it gets a little tricky, because we don't have jurisdiction over every road. The county has jurisdiction over certain roads, and sometimes it can create difficulties making repairs or changes to the road.
And Agustina, when I was looking at your presentation, I saw these pictures and you were talking about the reflective gear, and I saw those vests. And where do you get those? And I am asking because, I see a lot of people who like to go walking. I guess in the summer is not a big issue because they're easy to spot. But in the winter, as we get shorter days, it's very nice to have those. So where do you get those vests and all of this gear?
There's several online, you can even get them on Amazon, I believe, the vests. But you can get reflective bracelets or vests. Those are easy things to, go online and look, type in Google reflective vest, and they're not expensive. We got some just for show, and each reflective vest costs like $15-20 at the most.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can get them everywhere.
Yeah, that's definitely not bad, and it can definitely save a life, especially in the winter. Okay. Well, I don't see that we have any other questions for now. Agustina, any last thoughts? Or recommendations that you might have for us?
Well, just be always pay attention when you go out, when you walk. Try to put down the phone. Try to, look both ways when you cross a road, and use the crosswalks, and always just be aware. It's very important to be aware. Yeah, I actually no one goes out thinking that they're gonna be hit by a car, but it happens.
Yeah, you just reminded me, once I was driving and was this guy, he was on the phone, headphones on, and he just crossed the street. He didn't even look to the sides, nothing. He just kept walking. And if I had been going a little faster, I would probably have hit him, right? Because he didn't even have the intention to stop. I don't even think that he realized he was crossing a street.
Yeah, we especially with kids, well, with everyone, we tell them, never assume that a driver will, sees you. Never assume that a driver sees. Always make eye contact, or always wait until, If they're going fast, wait until they pass and then cross,
Mhm.
or try to make eye contact with the driver.
And you know, sometimes or often, I guess you will honk, but if somebody has, you know, earplugs or is listening to very loud music, they're not even gonna hear you. They don't hear the car, they don't hear honking, they don't hear anything. They're just
Yeah.
in the zone, right? So
Yeah.
it's very easy to get into an accident like that.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, thank you so much, Agustina. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for bringing us these updates from your office and the Department of Health. And to all of our attendees, I will see you next week. Next week, we're going to be talking about skincare. I don't think that's a bad thing to talk about with this summer that we're living, where our skin gets really sensitive. So please join us next week for skincare, and I will see you at 12 on Thursday.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.